In the heart of Arizona's Sonoran Desert, where silence stretches beyond the horizon, a lone fortress rises from the sand, a monument carved not from stone, but from earth itself. They call it Casa Grande, the Great House. Its massive walls still defy time, weather, and the desert sun that scorches everything else into dust. Built centuries before Europeans set foot on this land, its purpose remains one of America's oldest mysteries. Some say it was a fortress, others a temple that reached for the stars. Every crack, every beam, every shadow inside these walls whispers of the Hohokam, the ancient engineers of the desert. They shaped mud and sunlight into architecture so enduring it still stands after 700 years. As clouds race across the sky, time itself seems to circle back, reminding us that the desert remembers what history forgets. This is Casa Grande, the great house of the ancients, standing alone, yet not forgotten. They were the Hohokam, a people who transformed the desert into a world of canals, fields, and earthen cities. Using nothing but earth, water, and sunlight, they built something that would outlast empires. With precision and patience, they raised 4 massive walls, each perfectly aligned to the path of the sun. It wasn't just architecture, it was astronomy, engineering, and faith molded into one form. Each window, each beam, each shadow aligned with the heavens. This was a house that spoke to the stars. On solstices, light pierced these walls like a message, the sky answering the builders below. To the Hohokam, the earth and the sky were one story, written in clay and starlight. And though centuries have passed, their mark remains, etched into the very soul of the desert. Step inside the great house, and the silence feels alive, as if the walls themselves remember. Embedded in these walls are stories, fingerprints of builders who vanished before history began to speak their names. Archaeologists found precise alignments, openings that frame the rising and setting of the sun and moon with mathematical perfection. It's as if Casa Grande was built not to rule the land, but to understand the sky. Each solstice, each season, its walls became a calendar, guiding planting, ceremony, and time itself. Even with today's technology, we can't fully explain how they achieved such perfect design in pure clay. Through centuries of storms and silence, the great house still stands, defying time and reason. Perhaps its secret was never meant to be found, only felt by those who still listen to the desert. For centuries, Casa Grande stood as the heart of a thriving desert world, until suddenly it fell silent. The Hohokam's lifeblood, their canals, ran dry. The rivers they tamed began to change course. Droughts, floods, and shifting climate turned prosperity into survival. They left behind their homes, their art, and their great house, as if retreating into legend. Centuries swept across these walls, yet they refused to crumble, defying the very passage of time. When explorers found it again, even they could not explain who had built it or why it still stood. Today, archaeologists piece together fragments, still chasing the echoes of a civilization that vanished without a word. The great house remains, silent, eternal, watching the desert, guarding its last untold story. Though centuries have passed, Casa Grande still stands, a sentinel of memory beneath the Arizona sun. It reminds us that civilization is not measured by stone alone, but by the spirit that endures within it. For the descendants of the Hohokam, this sacred ground whispers of ancestors, of builders, dreamers, and survivors. Science now fills the silence, uncovering how a people shaped the desert into an oasis of ingenuity. Their legacy flows still in every canal, every engineered field, and every drop of life the desert gives. Today, Casa Grande stands not as a ruin, but as a teacher, a timeless reminder of human resilience. The desert has reclaimed much, but not its story, that still lives within these walls. And beneath the silent stars, Casa Grande endures, a monument not to what was lost, but to what remains. The desert remembers every stone, every echo, every dream once carved into its heart. Though centuries have buried their names, their wisdom still whispers through the silence of the night. Casa Grande stands eternal, a reminder that even in the harshest lands, humanity builds to endure. This is forgotten civilization, where the past still speaks beneath the sands of time.